that we amend the agenda to add under council business discussion of, $25,000 road and bridge money the county has on hold for us in a project they was willing to help us with. Yes, that's what's amended. Okay. The PA's on, is it? Hello? Yeah, better. Thank you.
That's
Okay. All right. So just bring it up on the council business, you said?
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine. All right, first up, we had our guest, Miss Kathy Patalo, with Hancock Resource Center, was not able to make it. But she wants to invite the city council to attend a forum that they're hosting. Did she give us any details on that forum, Lisa, as far as when it's gonna be, where?
She sent the flyer
Yeah.
out.
Okay. Got it.
It'll be August 30th, 6 to 7, Seal Meeting Room, County Library.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Mr. Albert Beal with Masonic Lodge. Is Albert here? Okay. He had a request to block off Main Street, I believe from, is it 2 May to the end, or maybe just 2nd Street to the end of Main Street? I think. You know? I think it's
Thanks.
2nd Street to Beach Road.
Yeah.
And they do the annual car show at the Masonic Lodge there, September 1st, 2018, with an alternate date of September 15th, 2018, should it get rained out or something. Proceeds to go to the Shriners Hospital. Okay. Anybody have a discussion on that? Can you get a motion to approve that, or?
Motion to approve the closing of the 100 block of Main Street on September 15th, 2018 for the car show.
September 1st. First, the 15th is an alternate
September
date.
1st, 2018.
Yes.
Second.
All right, motion, Mr. Zimmerman, second, Mr. Smith. Any further discussion from the council?
They're gonna block it, they're gonna have like the insurance and everything paid available to the city.
Yes, yeah, they do it every year.
Yes.
They provided it all in the past.
For the Masonic Temple, their car show.
So, good. All right, any further discussion? Vote the motion. Motion passes 6-0. All right, next up we have the consent agenda. Looks like we don't have the items D and E, which is the ordinance, publication of the ordinance for short-term rentals and dwellings, and the publication of the ordinance for that's for the building codes changes. Any discussion on any of the other items? Cash balances, certification letter, payroll dated August 17th, 2018. Hancock County Sheriff's letter dated August 13th regarding the inmate billing. Building Department report dated August 6th, 2018. And a street closure September 12th, 2018, 4:30 to 5:30 for lineup on North Beach Boulevard, Main Street, Blue Meadow Road, Pine Street Athletic Drive to allow for the homecoming parade for Bay High School.
And that's pending county approval on.
Right, contingent on
On that
county
part.
approval of the Beach Boulevard closure. Okay. Any discussion on the consent agenda? All right.
Motion approved consent agenda, taking items D and E away.
Second.
Motion Mr. Seal, second Mr. Zimmerman. Any further discussion from the council?
DeSalvo, second.
All ties with
Yes, sir.
Bloody, I didn't. Mr. DeSalvo, any further discussion from the council? All right, vote the motion. Motion passed 6-0. All right, city clerk, controller's report. Buddy, you need to step out on this. Payroll for individual dated August 17th, 2018.
Motion to approve the payroll?
Motion, Mr. Smith. Second, Mr. Seal. Further discussion, vote the motion. All right, motion passed 5-0, Mr. Zimmerman left the room. All right, we have the civil claims docket, 18-027 dated August 21st, 18. Total civil claims docket of $244,016.51. Anybody have anything on page 1? Page 2? Page 3? Page 4? Page 5?
Sissy, is this the last payment we have to the Hancock County Library for their millage?
No, we give them a check every month when we receive tax receipts.
They still get a little bit more?
Yes, especially in the, so especially in the month of September, they'll be getting the tax sale money in, so there'll be quite a a little bit larger check than they've been receiving the last couple of months.
All right, page 5? Page 6? Page 7? Page 8? Page 9?
On data storage for Omni. We talked about it, but
Page 10, Omni.
have we made any decision on what we're doing there with this?
We're looking at some proposals
I think there is, if there's no research.
to, present between now and next meeting and maybe decide on some options we have with that.
Okay, I don't know nothing about that, so I'll just, know we had some discussion around storage cost and
Right.
terabytes and bigger bytes and little bytes and all that stuff.
It's even more this month than normal, so I
Right.
don't know if it's, still got more stored this month or whatever, but
Why is it more this month than last? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Thought it was a set monthly fee.
It's supposed to be.
This is based on, I think,
Storage.
storage
Mhm.
units, like megabytes, gigabytes, or whatever those are.
So if we use,
That's how he does that police, memory storage thing.
Uh-huh.
we use up more than they allot, then we get charged per byte or something.
Right, right. I think he said we've outgrown our previous solution, and the only other option he can give us is, some type of an off-site storage thing. They said we had to upgrade our server in order for that to work.
We're gonna need a bigger server.
Well, he just said upgrade it. I don't know if that just means a component has to be added to it.
Do you know how old our current server is?
The police department's very new,
New,
but if he's
right.
talking about ours in the city, it's very old. So it's on its last leg, but we've just been limping along.
And Gary, we're looking at going to a virtual server, so we won't even have an on-site server, which would save us literally tens of thousands of dollars in doing that. And we're also looking at going to a different storage solution completely, which will save us $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that.
page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Sissy, on 14, the first bank shows the equipment, I guess, that's being paid for monthly.
Correct.
Is that pretty much everything, or is there a couple out there that are not included in the first?
No, we have various banks that we have utilized. So we have Bancorp South, we have Sun South,
Okay.
I think is one of them. Sun Trust. We have the Kansas, I think we have still have the Kansas City Bank. We have some Hancock Bank leases. I even think one of our fire trucks goes to leasing too, which I think is a subsidiary of City. I think it was Citibank.
Yeah, I see the bank for
It just depends on whoever the low bidder
Got
was
the
at
lowest one.
that moment
Yeah.
when you all approved those.
Anything on page 15? Page 16? Total civil docket is $244,016.51.
Motion to approve. Oh, we're gonna do it all in the,
What's that?
we're gonna do it all with the city, everything on the city clerk's report at one time, and then just the document.
What you do, docket?
All right. Motion to approve the docket dated 8/21/2018.
All right, motion approved, Mr. DeSalvo.
Second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Smith. Any further discussion from the council? Vote the motion. Motion passes 6-0.
Fire equipment.
Fire equipment quote. Pellerin Laundry Machinery Sales Company Incorporated. Pull that up. That is total of 11,047.
$11,837.
Yeah. It's 11,047 plus 790.
For installation.
Trying to look at, keep scrolling on me and it's sideways.
Well, you can move it. You want it straight down?
Well, half of it's sideways, half of it is.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
That's all right. I just want to get it.
That's
All
a
right.
big machine.
All right, so any discussion on this?
Oh, which account's coming out of this, fire department?
This, we are requesting the fire insurance rebate money to be used for this. I'm sorry, the quarter mill money, not fire insurance rebate money. Quarter mill money. They still have, some in there from what they didn't use this year. So we're requesting that and also a budget amendment to account for that if they need additional monies in the budget. But they do have the money in the cash reserve, in the cash account.
Wes, watch on the uniform.
So this is coming all out of the quarter mill funds?
Quarter mill,
Which-
right.
Which is their cash account that they have? Which
Quarter
is the-
mill is in the,
No, I know that, but which is their cash account, you said?
The cash account is a municipal fire rebate fund and quarter mill. It's a combined cash account at the People's Bank, and it's the item number 2 on your cash
So
report.
we're not gonna use the rebate money, that's for the
No,
fire
no, no,
truck.
no, it's not the
That's
rebate
for-
money.
no, that's
We
for-
just got the rebate money in
payment.
as well, so that is actually in the bank now. We've been waiting on that, I was thinking it's gonna come in July, so it came in early August.
Okay, any
I'm
further discussion?
The price is total installation, correct, Mr. Avery?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That
Concrete-
includes soap?
Concrete work and concrete work and everything, right?
Yeah.
Nothing we have to do.
We gotta do some plumbing, but it's not much that we have to do to it.
Then we gotta run the hot water,
Yeah.
cold, everything to that.
We have lines available for that, the drain line and everything?
Yes, sir.
So it's gonna be inside, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Need a motion?
Motion, yes, sir.
Your motion reflects that it's the lowest and best.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's
Yeah,
got
there's
another.
There's another one.
There's another one.
The other bid is, $12,970.
$970.
Okay, motion to accept the low quote for fire equipment from Pellerin, the best, and the best quote for fire department from Pellerin Laundry Machine Sales Company. In the amount of, how much was it?
$11,837.
$11,837.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Salvo. Any further discussion from council? I vote the motion. Motion passes 6-0. All right. Next up is the lowest and best bid for financing 2018 Ford F-350 with the dump body. Dump truck. That's the one that we don't need the CDL for.
Correct.
And where's that coming out of, Sissy? That's gonna come out of the, equipment fund that we have budgeted?
Well, that is something that the council needs to fund in the next budget year, so we're gonna have to do some revisions to,
Okay.
but the council will need to decide where to take that from, because currently we don't have this particular piece of equipment funded in our debt service schedule for the new budget year.
Gotcha.
What do we have left over from the 100,000 that we agreed to finance?
I do not have those numbers, with me, but I know you have sufficient money in that because y'all did not purchase a couple of very large pieces of equipment. However, that doesn't change the fact that next year's budget needs to be amended to reflect these payments.
And it's, 60 monthly payments of $665.07. Total equipment cost $36,210. And the lease rate is 3.89%.
I have a question. It says rate could increase if prime rate increases. That's gonna be a given. That's gonna go up.
Before
Before
close.
9/25. Just need to lock it in before 9/25.
Do you have
Think.
any, is that item in stock with the, manufacturer or? It is, okay. So
Yeah,
that
but on-
depends on whether we can close before 9/25, which
Right.
depends on delivery of the product.
Okay.
So they say, the vendor says
Supposed
they
to be
have
held
it,
in stock for us.
yeah.
But even after the prime goes up, they're not gonna raise it like the SunTrust is gonna do.
No, this one is fixed as long as you close before 9/25. It will be fixed at that rate. He said even if we don't close before 9/25, it's a possibility it wouldn't go up, but he wanted to give us the worst case scenario that it may be a 0.25 adjustment. And so the difference between the two banks is only $205.80, so total over the life of the loan, or the note, the lease.
So this will be split between utilities and general?
Yes,
As far as the use of it? Okay.
And funding as well, right?
funding as well.
Okay.
You I make a motion that we approve, funding this 2018 Ford F-350 with the dump body, through, let's see, Bancorp South is the lowest and the best.
Motion, Mr. Knobloch, second, Mr. Seal. Any further discussion from the council? Vote for motion. Motion passed 6-0.
So do you need any other authorizations for that lease purchase, or are we good this time?
No, that's correct. They authorized the purchase of the vehicle in the meeting last time.
Okay, that's what I thought.
However, we have not done the purchase order. We're waiting for the financing, so we're
Okay,
good.
perfect.
We're good.
Bring that on. Okay.
All right. Next up, we have the SunTrust revised payment schedule for the ladder truck lease.
Gene, can I bring something up on that?
Yeah?
What's that, yeah?
I was, just looking at this payment schedule. Why couldn't we, or if it's allowed, maybe this is a Heather question, borrow the money out of the utility maintenance fund, pay this vehicle off, and then pay the maintenance fund back over the same time period? We'd save probably $40,000 in interest, and we really wouldn't hurt the value of the fund.
Talking about the ladder truck?
Uh-huh. It would do several things for us. It would, by saving this money, you could, dedicate it, it would just free this up. And, we could push the payment from November to after the first, ad valorem check, so we wouldn't have it in that dead period that we had from October to, the first check comes in January. But it was just something I was just seeing if that was a possibility, since we have a pretty good amount of money in that account.
What does it pay off on the, ladder truck?
$314,937.74 by the old contract. But we would save the interest, because we could go back and I could do a quick calculation of what the actual principal is. You could take the $314 divided by 6, and that's what the payment would be every January. And you would save a good $40,000 on this.
So
Actually,
Serena,
if you did it September 1st, they would probably have to give you some interest back for 2 months. They would have to amortize it for the 2 months in 2018.
That would still leave us $300,000 in that.
Yeah, but we'd give a payment right away for almost that amount.
I think it can be done as long as we pay it back. We look, I don't know for what period of time we'd have, but we've looked into that before about if needing that money, we could borrow as long as it's paid back.
By the end of the year, right?
Yeah, that's what we
Is it
gotta
the
find out the
fiscal
length
year?
of time.
I was gonna go 1 year.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if there was a time frame on.
Yeah, that's something, we'd have to check on and see if we can do it for multiple years.
Heather, can you check on that for us?
yeah, I can check on that, and the other thing that Sissy, I think we'll need to look at is under your options to prepay, it says that which shall include a prepayment fee. So we just need to make sure that they're not gonna charge us, or how much they're gonna charge us if we pay it off before, the end of the term, just to make sure that we know what that is.
I know, but they
Says
have
that's
on
a
the
paid
side,
for.
they have a prepayment price on here if you pay it off early in the far right column.
Do they have it? Let's see.
Well,
What page
this
are you
is
looking at, Gary?
I'm
This
looking
comes from
at page,
by the date line.
it's in the back, I'm sorry, it's in the back of the original contract, about halfway through. It's right before the tax agreement, right before arbitrage certificate.
Okay, yeah. Okay. We'll look into that.
It looks like there's no fee if we pay it off in full at one time, but could be a payment fee if we pay a partial payment.
I don't think I don't think it allows for partial payment.
Right. Shall have the option to prepay the obligations under the lease in whole, but not in part, when any payment is due.
And what did we say, what do we owe on it now?
$314,937.74 as of 11/1/18, that's the payoff value. If we do it earlier, it might be a little bit less.
Yeah.
And the lease rate on that is,
Is 2.823%.
okay,
Yeah.
it's going up.
And I can't
Due
find
to
how-
federal income,
We did this in 14, or y'all did this in 14, how many more years do we have left paying?
Six.
6,
Yeah, 6 annual payments.
gotcha.
Maybe we could just put this on the back burner until Heather can get back with us on the legality of this.
Yeah. Lucy and I can get together on this.
And I did, in our budget planning, I did go ahead and plan for the increased payment, so it's in there if we need it. So,
So that payment's in there anyway.
right, the
So
increased
we-
payment, I think
it's
it's about
paying ourselves.
12, yeah, I
Well,
think it's
We'll figure
about,
out what it needs to
we
be.
could pay
to
less,
ourselves
of
back. It
course.
should be a lot, should be less.
yes, but we planned for the worst.
Right.
You just gotta be careful doing that. I think that's how another city just got in trouble, was borrowing utility money to pay all their bills, then the utility fund was owed
They
millions
wasn't
of
borrowing,
dollars.
they just wasn't paying it back.
Yeah,
They were
Yeah.
using it but not paying it back.
yeah.
All right. All right, so you're gonna look into that further and let us know on it?
Yes, we'll have to email the
Okay.
Department of Finance and just
No
make sure
action on
we
that tonight.
clarify that.
All right.
Are we under any time constraints with this?
No, they sent us the new payment schedule, they said it is what it is, start making your new payment, November 1st. So
Okay, so we're good.
we've got at least a few months
Yeah.
at least before we have to make the payment.
Okay, perfect. I just wanna make sure we weren't just need to pay this like tomorrow.
Council have any further discussion on that item?
I just make a motion, we just table it until we get that answer. No
Yeah,
action.
no action. Let them look into it, bring it back. If we put it on the agenda for the next meeting, would that be enough time?
Yeah.
Yes, that should be.
Okay. What's the date of our next meeting, Lisa? That's gonna be in September? September 4th? Is that the day after Labor Day?
Yes.
Okay. Did we have any, interest in moving that?
I'm good with it.
I mean, I'm fine with it, we're not going anywhere for Labor Day. Just don't know if anybody's gonna get out of town.
We just knew that the deadline would move up a day. They'll have to send the agenda out Friday.
Okay, so we need to get everything turned in by Thursday?
Thursday,
Noon?
yes.
Okay. All right. Leave it on the 4th. If you can place that on the agenda, that would be great. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Sis. Gary, thank you. All right. Next item is the two contracts with Jan Hale and SEP, and approve Mayor Park to execute both contracts.
it's the two different contracts for, I thought we'd already,
These are actually two copies of the same contract, but their fiscal year ends June 30th. So the one we signed before, like you said, was only through June 30th, so they demand us to do this every year.
10-4, so I was wondering why we're doing it then.
That's so we can keep Miss Linda.
Motion approved, so we have to approve both.
It's just one contract, it's a duplicate copy, so we just need to
These are for our
execute.
part-time employees that we're having?
Yeah.
I motion approved contracts with Southern Mississippi Plan Development Districts for the host agency agreement, to provide, what was they call that program, it's not retired seniors, it's the,
Hold on, trying to find it.
SCSEP program?
Senior Community Service Employment Program?
yes,
Yes.
that's good.
Yes.
All right, motion,
And
And,
second.
Can you include in there to allow Mayor Park to sign that?
amend my motion.
Yes.
Amend my second.
All right, motion by Mr. Seal, amended by Mr. DeSalvo. Any further discussion from the council? Vote the motion. Motion passed 6-0. Thank you. All right, personnel budget for employees split between City Hall and City Council members. We need to amend that personnel budget. Brought up in meeting 8/16/2018. Any
Okay.
discussion on this?
I was gonna say, on that item, it's not really necessary to amend the budget per se, because both budgets are satisfactory, they're enough to satisfy the the labor dollars.
Mhm.
But what we need to do is amend the personnel ordinance, so I have incorporated that change into the personnel ordinance that you'll have in front of you.
Okay.
And that's gonna be the next item on the agenda.
So you have or have not?
I have.
Okay, both G and H are.
So, do we need to
included on this.
amend it, or do we need to just approve the new ordinance
Just
as amended?
Just approve, yes, the new one that's attached to
Okay.
item H.
Gotcha. So, let's look at that quick, and, Ethan. Not sure.
So this is the one we're amending? So the one on our desk is the one we're amending? This ordinance?
G.
So this includes prepay raises and split time between the, council and the administration. Okay, any discussion, council?
Where's where's Caitlin at, gonna be assigned? In finance?
Utility,
Utility, okay.
last page.
Is that right? She's showing up still 80 hours.
I think that's per pay period, 40 hours a week.
No, I didn't amend the budget side, I just amended the actual side and where she'll be, because the budget is adequate
Okay, yes, yeah,
to
yeah.
cover the cost, but.
Now it's on the right side of the paper.
I was asked to make that change.
I'm looking on the left. and it's
I
supposed-
know,
It's on the
everybody
right
is
now,
so
okay?
confused. I
Forgive
know.
me, I'm looking the wrong line again. You keep moving the line.
Yep, it's all my fault.
No, it's not your fault. I'm trying to catch up. Things at home never stay the same. All right, I got those two. We've been asking that.
But the problem is I have to print it on
It's
11 by
gotta fit
16
on the
paper.
page, yeah.
Yeah, let's get poster board.
I'm gonna get the plotter out next time and run it off.
Needs to be a little bit bigger.
Start getting, map paper, we'll get printed out Chinichis off. Oh, all right. Any discussion on it?
Good. These were approved at the last meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Motion
need a
approved,
motion.
ordinance 632-08-2018, updated on the City of Bay St. Louis payroll ordinance.
Second.
All right, motion, Mr. Seal, second, Mr. Salvo. Any further discussion from the council? Vote the motion. Motion passes 5-0. Mr. Zimmerman left the room. Josh, can you sing him? All right, next take care, that took care of the last one as well. Good. All right, Lisa, do we have a public forum sheet? Oh, well, I thought, Lisa, we had put on the agenda to, have a discussion on the okay. Actually, where is it at? Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, she'll have some time if she needs it. Okay. Because we don't have anything, ordinances, waiting on Jason for the engineer report. The city might be here about 7. So we'll go into So we have Ms. Rhonda Oliver, speaking tonight.
Hi, Rhonda Oliver, Ward 5. Is it on, Lisa?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. At the last special meeting, I think we had a discussion about insurance for one of the nonprofits that's in the depot. Did we get that insurance?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Is there a reason why I can't have a copy of it? Is there a reason why it's not in the minutes? Is it in the minutes, Lisa?
I'm gonna have to look back. Are you talking about the last set of minutes?
No, I'm talking about the minutes from March, because his nonprofit status is not in there, and his insurance is not in there. Does anybody have a copy of it?
Yes.
Huh?
It's attached to a special event permit, along with the liquor license also.
Okay. Did he, when did he turn it in?
Friday.
Friday?
Yep.
Is that for just a special permit, a special event, or is that?
That's a special event permit.
That's right, we have the insurance for both the museum, and then we have also the insurance for the actual event. That's what that says, we have both of those.
Okay, so it's $1 million insurance liability.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure is.
Huh? Oh, okay, because on Saturday, I went by there, and y'all can pass it down. This is what was erected between the gazebo and the, stage that people were working on. I'm not a contractor, but I am a degree draftsman. And this is the platform. Y'all can pass it back and forth if you want. Because if that's not a liability to the city, I don't know what is. Was it inspected?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Now, those pictures were from what's today, Tuesday? It was from yesterday afternoon. It was still there. So anybody walking on it, probably the size of one of you guys, or maybe a few of you guys, would probably collapse it.
I've seen as many as 10, 12 people up there with no problem
With equipment.
with the equipment.
Well, y'all don't have a problem with it, right? You don't have a problem with it?
It's their gazebo. They built it and they paid for it.
It's city property,
Yes, we do have liability on something like that.
okay? Can I have those put into the minutes, please?
Yeah, I'll put them in this minutes.
Huh?
I'll put them in this.
The pictures that I just gave to the council?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please put those in the minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank
with my complaint.
you. No problem. Thank you. All right. Ms. Chauvin, we're gonna, just wait until we do that, which is coming up next anyway. Discussion for the nonprofit budget request. Shall have anything on the ordinances or
No.
engineer's report? We'll wait for Jason.
Right.
We had, I believe, 3 requests, one from CASA, one from Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence, and one from the tourism.
Do this in a workshop. Next workshop.
All right, the Center for Nonviolence is requesting $2,500. Continue providing life-saving services to the residents. It's a domestic violence shelter. State statute requires the center to receive 25% of funding from local revenue sources. They fund for rape crisis centers, domestic violence shelters, and other governing issues within the service area, center service area. And they're saying that the 2,500 could be leveraged to bring 10,000 in federal grant money, allowing them obviously better service of their victims and individuals that are in the program. Do we have anybody here from Center for Nonviolence tonight? Pass this down.
Sure.
I have from CASA here, Cynthia, if you want to come up, well. You might be able to explain it a little quicker than I can.
I hope.
I hope so.
Good evening. Just quickly, I wanted to first thank y'all for the support that you've provided us over the years by coming to our events, by personally supporting and pledging your own resources towards the organization. I know y'all are all familiar that we utilize trained community volunteers to advocate for children in foster care. In late June, I submitted a request for consideration for you all for fiscal year 19 funding. And even as I look at the numbers that I submitted back in June, the numbers have continued to pretty significantly change here in the county in terms of the number of children in custody. Currently, as of last Friday, there were 214 children in foster care, and we are now serving 75% of them. So as the numbers have gone down significantly since our new county court was created, we have continued to intensify our efforts to recruit and train additional volunteers. The question I most often get is, as a volunteer-driven organization, why do we need community support? As I spent the last 7.5 hours today in a court case in youth court, I can't tell you how important the role of a CASA volunteer is in these cases. They're unbiased, they're unconnected to the families, they're not part of the CPS system, they're not part of the court system. They are truly the eyes and the ears of these children. And we as a local community are so grateful to have them on the scene doing what I consider to be God's work, truly. For us to have a CASA volunteer on a case, looking at our budget, it costs $1,266 a year. So I have asked in the request for you all to consider allowing for 3 CASA volunteers to be funded in fiscal year 19 at a cost of $3,700 and $37.98. With that being said, in the first half of this year, we served 53 children from Incorporated Bay St. Louis. When I say that, that means that those were children who were residing in Incorporated Bay St. Louis homes or apartments and that were removed from your jurisdiction. So the ask for 3 is recognizing that we would never want to ask or depend on the county contribution or the city contribution fully to support our work. But like the Center for Nonviolence said in their request, we often leverage the support of local cities and government entities to be able to get additional dollars to help us make the budget, obviously. I would tell you that if $37.98 is not in the books for y'all and not a possibility, any amount would be incredibly valued. And I can promise you that it's money well spent. For the children that are in foster care today, it's really an investment in them into adulthood and the next generation of people who hopefully you all will get to represent as constituents. If y'all have any questions, I'd be more than willing to answer them.
Any questions from the council? All right. Thank you, Ms. Cynthia.
Thank you for the work you do.
Yes. All right. And we also received the information from Hancock County Tourism and Development Bureau with their updated financials and audit reports from 2016 and 17. I'll give all this to Lisa, and if anybody has any questions, we can look through the reports. Go ahead and put that in the minutes as well. All right. Mayor's report.
Right, yeah, yes, council.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Went out of council business too fast.
I had Lisa put a copy on everybody's, desk before the meeting. I had some estimates worked up from Jason Kenichi on 3 pretty bad repairs that need to be done in Ward 6. One is Avenue B, a bulkhead and guardrails for the culvert. The road's actually starting to collapse where the culvert's giving way on the edge. But he feels if we bulkhead it up and backfill it and guardrail it, we'll buy some time till we can do something more permanent down the road. Skyline Drive, paving and guardrail. It's an evacuation problem. Every time the southeast wind blows, it's probably about 9 to 10 inches lower than everything else back there, keeps people stuck. And same thing with Tahiti Street is, you keep about 100 people have a dip in the road to get out back there. So total cost was $58,300. I went to the supervisors meeting next for assistance with it. They said that we had $25,000 they was holding still, I think from the Dunbar project possibly. When we asked them to hold it to do the paving there was some kind of mix-up or something maybe, I'm not sure, but they got $25,000 they said still of our road and bridge money they sitting on, waiting.
Sewage line down there, so we make the repairs that'll come out the sewage fund.
Yeah, it'll come out the other, not the road run. So in discussion, they said if we put up that $25,000, they would pay the remaining $33,300 to do all 3 of these projects. And they said if the council agreed to it, I would just have to have Ms. Smith send the resolution to them saying that we approved the transaction to let them keep the $25,000 to go towards these projects and complete these 3 projects. So it'll be doubling our money and getting 3 major projects done, and so.
Resolution?
Yes, and that's from, all the supervisors, but part of this in Skyline is in Scotty's district, Avenue B and Tahiti is in Bo's district. Ward 6 has 2 different supervisors in there, so. Yeah, I make a motion to send a resolution to the Board of Supervisors proving that we would give the $25,000 for them to keep, and they pay the additional $33,300 for the Avenue B bulkhead repairs, Skyline Drive improvements, raising the street and guardrails, and Tahiti Street improvements. Total $58,300.
Which fund you wanna take this out of?
They got the money already from the road and bridge.
No, for our 25.
That's the
Yeah,
county
we don't
has
have
it.
to.
They still have it.
They still have it.
Road and
Oh,
bridge
okay, I thought
money.
you said that was for
They
sale.
have 25 of our road and bridge for that other project.
So we don't have to fund
The
it.
county still has it. They sitting on it, so I didn't realize it.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion by Mr. Sallow, second by Mr. Knobloch. Any further discussion from the council? Okay, vote the motion. Motion
Thank you all.
passes. 6-0.
Appreciate it.
And
Yeah.
gentlemen,
What did I do?
did I interrupt you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I just wanted to say what I'll do, I'll work with Lisa to get this official motion, and then we can send it over to the Board of Supervisors. If they need an actual formal, drawn-out resolution that we need to bring back to y'all, we will do that, but hopefully just the motion itself, and I can work with Lisa on wording, will be enough.
Yeah.
We're gonna change the motion wording just now?
No. Mm-mm.
I'm just meaning if they need one of those, whereas the city of Bay St.
Oh,
Louis,
okay.
whereas, now therefore, you know, if they need that, we could do that, but I wouldn't wanna send that without bringing that verbatim to you
Okay.
all.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other council business, buddy, you have anything?
I've got a problem that I was made aware of today. On Paradise Lane, which is a heavily traveled road in my ward, it is beginning to fall apart, and I don't really understand why, because it's never done it before. It's been there for quite some time. But right in there where the last 2 houses and the old city limits are, they have a stretch of a couple hundred feet that's just
On,
totally cracked up, and it's gonna
on
come
the end when you first get on it by the hospital right there?
about 400 or
Right down
500
through there?
feet down the road, right before you get
Okay.
to the curve where,
Andy Giller lives?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It looks like we're gonna have to take and actually pull the asphalt up, do some base repairs, and then re-asphalt. Just putting asphalt on it's not gonna help anything. It's gonna get a big mess this winter. When rain starts and cold weather don't let it dry out, it's just gonna tear it up. Looks to me like they have heavy traffic, but I don't know of anything going on back there that would have a bunch of heavy trucks going back and forth.
A lot of traffic.
Logging operation,
Local.
a bunch of concrete being poured. Do you know of any construction going on?
Not that much, I mean, a few houses coming up back in there on the other end, but
It's gonna give us trouble because it's heavily traveled.
okay.
All right, anything further, Bud?
That's it. Thank you.
Larry, you have anything?
I have more of a question, that was asked to me by one of my constituents that lives on Kenichi Street.
Okay.
They're wondering about the golf cart thing and how to get to downtown if they can't touch Old Spanish Trail.
Have to amend that ordinance, is the only way.
So how would we do that? I mean,
I think
exactly.
we're gonna have to look at the ordinance and amend certain travel, like certain streets, because I think we have the same issue coming from Ward 6, don't we? Can't
You
do
have
it.
to actually amend your local and private.
Off river, out there, yeah.
So we have to amend
Your
the
local
local
and private
private.
is what says 25.
Change
Or
the-
change
Or
the
change
speed
the
limit.
speed limit.
Well, that would be a bad idea.
No, that's the easiest thing.
Yeah.
That might be the better thing anyway. Because of the speeding problem. That would,
Same thing, same thing as from Spanish Acres all the way through there.
what do you think about that, chief?
Yeah, there's a couple issues that we noticed, especially at Breakwater, I think is 30, and that's an approved crossing, so that kind of shuts a whole lot of people, I think, coming down that way too, because they can't from Breakwater, so it's 30 and 3, back there, but,
Correct.
if 30 is real close to 25, if we adjusted that, that would be fine for traffic, and I think that's right there by the hospital, so I think 25 is appropriate there.
What's council think about lowering the speed limit to 25 on OFC?
Got a lot of complaints on the speeding anyway.
That's what I was thinking.
I think that'd be
I don't know, I
better.
got behind somebody going real slow the other day and I had a little bit of road rage.
You didn't go around them.
No.
Well,
I think that'd be better than putting,
When they come
council,
zooming around.
they have
bumps
double
and
yellow
stop
lines
signs
going
and
all the way
stuff.
down there too, so be careful.
I think it's something needs to be looked
I
at.
know we talked about putting stop signs and speed
We
bumps
have.
and things like that. I think that would be a better solution,
That
lower
would be
speed
more
limit than
appropriate.
to try to put stop signs in the middle of Old Spanish Trail randomly.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think when you go down through, you have a couple of them down at Waveland stop signs. I think they only 25 down there, so I think a
Right.
combination of both can help.
Okay, well, why don't we get a,
A proposal for next meeting?
proposal and maybe a list of several streets?
Yeah.
Chief, if you can maybe get some streets together.
Yeah, another street is, I think Central halfway, it's 35, but then as it gets closer down towards the end of Central, it turns into 25, just like around St. Charles, I think.
That's
it kinda
correct.
switches over, so
Right.
that might be another street to look at too, but, I'll put together a list for y'all.
Okay, thank you.
Chief.
That's it.
All right. Doug?
Yeah, a couple things. Mr. Mayor, where are we at on the playground equipment?
Hopefully in another week or two, the remaining parts will be in.
I had to
That's
make
been,
this
we're
custom-
talking about Old City Hall, yes.
Yeah. All right, just something, got special parts, I guess, they had to make those or
Where, I guess wherever they come from,
whoever. Yeah.
time-wise.
All right, safety concern about striping, and I didn't realize this, as the school's taking in on Pine Drive, or Pine Street, what it's called, they drive through the ball field parking lot, and all the striping is, there's really no striping in there. And
Yeah.
people are going around each other and not obeying basic traffic laws. And just wanted to ask if we could stripe the drive lane through there. Does that make
What-
sense?
That needed, and Pine Street also needed those striping through there, the way it's set up. with
Yeah,
the
it's
Emergency
just-
lane in the middle, that's all going also.
Right.
Want to give it to them and see
We get the county to help us with that, or the school, or, I mean, how can we
whose
get,
responsibility is it?
right,
City, school combination,
okay.
you know.
And maybe could the county, because counties help us
But the
with piping.
ballpark needs it too,
Yeah, but,
coming through that drive through there. you
Okay.
know.
Um,
Need to match
yeah.
whatever's on the inside right there.
okay. It's just from safety concerns, see if we can look at something that partner with the school and the county maybe to help us out with that. That's it.
Anything else, though? Gary?
I just been, just kinda looking around through the city, and, I was just taking some photographs over on St. Charles, and, culverts over there are just filled up, and the city just put in culverts over for Bill Adam, and they put probably 40 feet of culvert in there, and the topo was off, and now the water's backfilling. And because they didn't put one of those drains to allow the water to go in on top,
Drain's not required, but every so many feet.
well, you better go take a look at it, brother.
I'm just saying,
I thought it was every 20 feet.
Yeah.
50 feet,
Or 50.
Every
50 or
50
60
feet.
feet.
50 feet.
You have a massive erosion problem going on, and a great pooling of water on top of, on the city right away.
Did they float up?
Uh,
They've done been back over there a couple of times, you know, set and reset and.
Well, right now, the water's running on top, and it's cutting a big, cut of mud in there, and it's just backfilling the culvert up now.
Yeah.
And then on the
I don't
other
know if
end,
it's
by
where
the
it's
tracks,
washed down from the yard in there or whatever, I'm not sure what's taking place
and
there.
then by the tracks, they cut too deep, so the ditch is lower than the culvert itself, so it's not actually flowing across the street like it should, heading towards the Gulf. And, what's that, Easy Street, that ditch over there, from Easy all the way, you went
To
across.
St. Charles, the main drain,
Man, y'all gotta cut that.
looking at, he's proposing to fill in the first half of it.
Who's that?
The homeowner on that corner right there is proposing, and Jason's working on that to make sure what size piping is needed for that, to fill in.
So all that pipe that we looked at in the wintertime, that's no good?
Gotta see how much we need there, you know, size-wise. That was for another yard there, they do have a couple sticks left over.
That's it.
All right. I have another little drainage issue. Kind of brought this up before, but at the end of DeMontles in there, around 110 DeMontles, where they have that one drain, it's backed up considerably, and I know Buddy witnessed it this weekend with the rain.
2 weeks ago when it rained hard.
110 to Motley?
Yeah, there's one drain there, one grate, and it looks like it could be increased to 2. It's just the volume probably can't get into that drain fast enough.
Second Street that doesn't go anywhere, just stops right there.
Okay. So we need to add a grate down in the road or something, we're saying?
Yeah, it's actually in the right of way, just off the road.
Okay. Look at that.
That's all I have. Anybody else? That's a bit. All right. Mike, mayor's report.
A, we don't have it ready yet, we should have it ready for the next meeting. Thought we'd have it for this one here.
Now, Mayor,
B-
Mayor, if you wanted to just get them to go ahead, if you're just asking for approval just to go ahead and advertise for that, I don't see a problem with that, or unless you wanna wait to bring the entire thing back.
I'd rather have the entire thing so they can look at it and
Works
see,
for me.
you know.
Yeah, I'd rather that too, but just wanted
Okay.
to tell you.
B and C, chief,
Yeah, that's just an authorization, for me, the mayor, to sign into a grant agreement for
Chief,
overtime funds.
would you mind accept?
It's just a grant agreement for next year for, authorization to, enter
agreement with the state to get grant funds for DUI enforcement and traffic enforcement, and also full reimbursement for our HIDA administrative position that we have over there at the DEA office. So we got to sign those agreements.
Okay, so that's for both B and C we're talking about?
Correct.
Yes.
I think it's about 14,000 in overtime funds for the DUI and
DUI,
traffic, and
right.
and the HIDA is fully reimbursed by grant work, grant funds.
So what do we get out of the HIDA officer or administrative position, whatever you clarify it as?
She is assigned over at DEA and assists with all the drug forfeitures. We have a full-time agent now assigned to DEA, and recently and continuously, Sissy will tell you, we're getting funds in, generating, coming into DOJ funds, and she assists with that process, not just for our agent, but for the whole office. So she's actually working on helping bring all those seizures in, but the whole position itself, the money is funneled in through the government, but it, you know, we have her on the books here, us, but we're not losing any money on her. That's a full funded position.
Okay.
So we're starting to get DOJ funds coming back now?
Correct. I think we got to check,
11,000 something.
Yeah, I think it was up about $11,600 and something we got during the month of June.
and I think that's from an old one. I know my guy up there now has done some paperwork to fill out for some future seizures, but we probably won't see that for quite some time, but we've got paperwork in the works, so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right. So we need a motion to allow those.
Motion to approve.
And
Second.
I would do two motions on these just because there's so much there to make it clear in the minutes. Is that
Right.
okay with you all?
Motion to allow Chief Garrett Ponche to sign a minimum agreement between the Mississippi Bureau of Narcotics, HIDA, and the Bay St. Louis Police Department for the fiscal year 2018 HIDA grant. This grant reimburses the City of Bay St. Louis full-time employees signed the Gulfport HIDA DEA office.
Second.
All right, motion, Mr. Seals, second, Mr. Salvo. Any further discussion from the council?
Do we need to put the grant number in there or just attach this to the minute? Oh, this will be on the minutes.
It'll be on the minute.
No discussion.
All right, vote the motion. Motion passes 6-0.
Question on that, it says fiscal year 18?
Yeah, I know.
The next one says 19, so,
I know, I saw that too, and I had a question. They've already sent that paperwork back once to have it corrected, and that was the corrected version they sent back. I had that question, but I didn't get to forward it back to them yet to make sure they had the right year on there. But I think it's a thing where they send it every year, and I caught a mistake on it this year. I already sent it back once, so.
okay, that's fine. Let's make sure we've got, just following up. All right, motion to allow Chief of Police, and Mayor Mike Farber to sign Police Department fiscal year 19. This grant reimbursed City of Bay St. Louis $14,682 in funds for DUI and traffic enforcement.
Second.
All right, motion, Mr. Seals, second, Mr. Smith. Any further discussion, council? Okay, vote the motion. Motion passes 6-0. All right, thank you, Chief. Okay, next up, we have the golf cart permit, Mike.
Yeah, on that, we prepared to start issuing the stickers tomorrow through the, window at the police coming in City Hall. We'll attach the map. I think I sent everybody the registration form and an affidavit that'll be signed stating that they have the equipment. And if we need to attach the ordinance with it, we will also attach that. We'll have a package together, put together with everything, along with the stickers starting tomorrow morning. So,
Okay, what, we have a notary on site?
yes. Tammy is one from, in the police department, court department, got Mary Ann down there, and then, Pat Tice also upstairs.
Do they know they're gonna get run over?
They will now.
And that's all included in the $50 fee. We're not charging an extra fee for the notary.
Also on this, we will accept or give registration to anyone living except for Waveland's residents. You know, they will go through them, and vice versa. Waveland's can do the same. Somebody county wants to come up, you know, or wherever. You know, one of the things was asked, I don't know if we want to look at it or not, how we want to do it, keep it plain and simple, whatever. But had some calls for cruising the coast, you know, here for a week, 3 days, 4 days at the casino or somewhere. And are we gonna issue maybe 3-day passes, 7-day passes, something, you know, in the meantime? not just for this event, but for any event, or if somebody just comes in town, or do they have to pay the full $50?
I just give an event permit.
You know, if they had a campground or whatever, most of it's gonna be, or one of the, you know, rental houses, bringing a golf cart, you know, the question is, do we have a 7-day permit also to go with it? Nothing we can do right now for tomorrow, but it's something we can look at, you know, maybe before summer.
Yeah, we might be able to get in place before cruising the coast if we wanna.
We could
Do something. I think
amend it.
it'd be worth looking into. I mean, it's not gonna add a ton of money, but it'd add a little bit more revenue on the golf cart side of things.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they call and try to stay legal, so,
Right.
they don't want.
$25 permit fee.
Yeah. Now, we can recognize diamond heads also, somebody trails it down here.
We would register a Diamond Head card or pass anywhere else,
Okay.
as long as they have what's needed to do it.
They'd have to buy a separate registration for the bay also, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my
Yeah.
question.
So, but anyway, shop open tomorrow.
Okay. So we're proposing a $25 fee for a 7-day pass,
Temporary pass,
or
partial pass, I would say.
Yeah, one we can look at, discuss next meeting.
okay?
That's
Yeah.
okay, at least we can put that on the agenda for next meeting.
Please.
Next thing, Alice Anderson been working on recycling. Would like to come to the next workshop and make that presentation to see what needs to be done on recycling. So whenever we set next workshop up, can we include them in it?
Okay.
The only other thing I had, I believe, is, Clementine Shepherd has turned in a training session for municipal court clerks,
Which Sundays?
and we do have time to put it on next agenda, so we'll move that to that.
Okay.
Since we can put on this one.
Okay. Already on.
It is if it's in the budget, yeah. Okay, yeah, so.
All right. Anything else, Mike?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Gene, can we go back to council business one thing?
Sure.
Sissy, I know that when the first bank bid the financing for the street sweeper, it was for a 60-day period. But we're not gonna, it's not gonna be finished until sometime in October. We're gonna probably have to rebid that, so I'd probably be jumping the gun on that, 'cause that rate with, you know, may or may not expire. And the
that the
guy,
first?
Mike Anikes, he's now left the bank.
We did make a call to their branch manager in Maryland. So we did make a phone call, it was either yesterday or today after you sent that email to Miss Marilyn at the First Bank, and she said that she would have to talk with her financing people to see what the status of that was, since yes, it has expired, to see if they'll honor that and for how long.
If not, we just have to rebid it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, so we're waiting to hear back from her, so hopefully have an answer for you pretty soon on that.
All right. Thanks.
Got one thing as well on council business. Sue, can somebody get me a copy of the agreement we have with tourism for the use of the depot?
Okay.
I'd like a copy of that.
How long ago that may have
Oh,
started?
ma'am. So, we have some serious discussions around how we operate in that building. So,
Anything in particular?
access, public access to it. So, it's a tourism-related building. Needs to be open when tourists are here. So, we need to have an agreement with them, need to give them hours of operation like we do other people.
I have no idea what it is.
I don't either. That's why I said we just need to find out what the agreement is, right? And go from there. If there's not one, we'll draw up one and we'll set the rules.
Sounds good.
Wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have one.
Well, that's what I heard too.
Where were they before they got into the depot? Do you recall?
They were actually, tourism was behind People's Bank at one time, and that's where they
Okay.
opened.
Yeah.
That's where the
Yeah, I
chamber
remember that.
Well, they were in the chamber building too.
Chamber was back
there.
there now. I don't know.
I was trying to figure out
I
if
don't
we narrowed down
I
a
don't
year.
know the hours,
so-
yeah, the years.
Okay.
Or was that when they went
It's a
chamber?
blur.
I haven't.
Yeah.
So they've been there a good while.
Okay.
So, yeah, you get a copy of that, clear that up. further council business before we move on?
Just want to do a shout out. The concert from the Alice Mosley Museum was a really big, huge success.
It was
Lots
great.
of people.
Great.
Little or no incidents. The police did real well. As far as I know, there wasn't anything that was adverse about the whole thing, but the weather was nice and just a whole lot of people having a good time.
Good, very good. All right. You wanna do public forum before, Heather, do we do?
Well, I actually don't, that, my agenda item is discussion of personnel and executive session. However, I didn't put that on there, so I don't know if y'all just wanted to discuss, I'm not really sure what all you wanted from me, but I did provide you all with a copy of the Open Meetings Act, section 2541-7, just for your reference and review. If you have any questions about that, if you wanna call me personally, we can discuss it. I can answer questions here.
The only question that I had the other night was that, and the reason why I wanted to go in executive session, if we were going to speak about specific personnel, because their pay is confidential until we vote on the actual ordinance, then to say somebody's name out loud with a rate of pay could, I just didn't want to get into that situation before we had a chance to vote on those things.
Yeah.
So keep the confidentiality of the employee as well as the rate of pay. That's what we.
If you're discussing a line item where that could result in the termination of that employee, then that would allow you a reason to go into executive session.
So right now, you're saying it's okay to use somebody's name and how much they get paid?
What, in public?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's public, it's public knowledge.
even before we vote on an ordinance. No, even before we vote, this is a proposed ordinance, that's not the ordinance.
You have to watch how you, if you're just talking about the person and their pay, that's one thing. If you start getting into job performance, well, then
No
that
job
shifts over
performance.
to the
No.
mayor's.
No. It was just, I did not want to talk about rates of pay, because if it didn't come to be, then that could hurt some people's feelings or create animosity or some dissension or anything like that. So that's why I was wanting to go in executive session, just so, since we're in the budgetary part, not for discipline, but
No,
just,
I understand.
just to keep
It's
things
awkward.
confidential. And of course, after we're finished, and those things get posted and they can be disseminated after October. Because we never release that information until after the budget goes into effect.
Into effect. Look at K, read over it, and then you and I can discuss it later if you want. I underlined it for you, it's on page 2.
Yeah, I saw. I have a chance.
I didn't just underline it on yours, I underlined it on everybody's, just so easy reference point.
All right, so no need for executive session, see,
Well, not under mine, I don't.
none under yours. All right, do you wanna proceed with the engineer's report, or do you wanna? Okay.
Hey, I'm Nancy Hells, I'm here from Jason, he's not here right now. He gave you a packet, if I have it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, look, I can cover 2. Carroll Avenue, Safe Routes Project, it is tentatively gonna start in the middle of September, don't know the exact date yet. We need to look at number 3, which is the Highway 90 lighting modification. They're about 50% complete. In your packet, the first page is a letter from Jason requesting that you approve the change order number 1, which is on the first page. All the documentation supporting that follows. So we need you to, I don't know how to put the wording for this, but request that the change order be approved and then authorize the mayor to sign and submit it to the contractor and Department of Transportation.
Are they gonna pay for this, or? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So you need a motion?
Yes,
Yeah. You need a motion for each of these?
I don't know, do you need a separate motion?
We need change order number 1,
Change order number 1 is the
and then we need to make a motion for Rocky's Plumbing.
Yeah, so first just do the first one
Do the
for,
first.
the change order and authorize the mayor to sign and submit it to the contractor and Department of Transportation. And then the second, I guess number 4 will be, if you wanna go to that one, is, to approve, sign Rocky's Plumbing for the MDOT, Bushlag water diversion, changing the water line there. And that's number 4. And we also need the notice to proceed dated August 27th to be, signed.
I need
Y'all
a mo-
wanna, gonna say, do y'all wanna just start with the first
Yeah,
one and
go
then?
ahead, make a motion to do change order number 1 to Commercial Electric of Long Beach, an amount of $52,942.43 for Highway 90 lighting modification project, as recommended approval by City Engineer Jason Kanishi, will be 100% funded by NDOT,
Second.
And to authorize the mayor to sign
and authorize the mayor to sign
and submit to MDOT
and submit to NDOT.
and contractor.
Yes, dear.
It's what's on the paper.
And ditto, and ditto.
Yes, yes. Oh, all right, motion, Mr. Seal, second, Mr. DeSalvo. Any discussion from the council? Vote the motion. Motion passes 6-0. All right.
Motion to approve Highway 90 lighting modification project, Bush Log Street Water Diversion Project request to approve contractor Rocky's Plumbing for a total of
$3,000.
$3,000,
And it's
as recommended
Recommended
by
by-
City Engineer Jason Kanishi.
recommended by MDOT also.
And issue notice to proceed.
And issue notice to proceed.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Seal, second, Mr. DeSalvo. Any further discussion? Vote the motion. Motion passes 6-0. All right. Anything else?
No, Jason said we put that stuff that he's not here to cover on the agenda for next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate you covering.
Hi, Rhonda Oliver, Ward 5. Hello, buddy.
Give me a second to sign these, Rhonda, I don't wanna make sure.
Huh?
Give me a second to sign them.
Oh, great, you're taking up my time, buddy.
Go ahead, I'm gonna wait. I'll sign them after. Thank you.
Y'all are not talking about the budget. When is the next time y'all talking about the budget?
Go ahead and sit in there.
Okay, because on May the 31st, y'all had, a total amount. And then on June the 30th, you had a total amount that ended up, are y'all cutting the, library $100,000? Okay. In that case, instead of the change from May the 31st until June the 30th was $500,000. Is there a reason for a jump of $500,000 in 1 month?
In the proposed budget you're talking about?
Uh-huh.
300 and something for the grass cutting contract, just 3.
No, this is
40.
going through the budget. Didn't have a
Well,
grass cutting contract.
we're trying to get the revenues to fund them.
So you have the equipment, you have the people, and you're gonna pay. Uh-huh. All the things and else was in there. Is the school gonna request 3 mills? Are they requesting, it looks like that's what they're asking for in their proposal.
That was a past 3 mills that they did.
Huh?
That was a past 3 mills, right? Am I correct?
I think
They're
three-
requesting 3 mills?
3 mills?
What?
You have something showing they requesting 3 mills?
It's in the book over there.
I think what she's referring to is a 3 mil note. Budget will require the district to request that mills be levied for the district maintenance, 8.3 million, and a 3 mil note for 300,000.
Okay, for next year.
They're paying on a
2019?
note, Ms. Rhonda. I think they're paying on a note.
Okay, and y'all kept talking about the mills that y'all levied last year. Mr. Knobloch keeps saying 2 mills.
No, we're talking about.
We dedicated 2 to the Road and Bridge Fund to pay the bond, and 2 went into the general fund, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so it was 4 mills.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm just trying to get that straight. So y'all are thinking about going up 2 mills?
That's what was proposed initially. We're in discussions now to bring that down.
So
considerably.
last year was 4 mills. The school board's going to do 3 mills this year, and y'all talking about 2 mills. That's almost 10 mills in, what, a year and a half, 2 years? Fellas, y'all better stay within your means.
The 3 mil note was in last year's tax levy too. I'm looking at it now. School 3 mil note was 1.85 mils. School shortfall was 0.83 mils. So it was in there last year. It's just continuing.
I'm-
It's
I'm
not a
just-
new tax.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this, I have not, it's sitting here, but I think what they're referring to is this is the total amount that they're requesting.
Correct.
It's not like I don't wanna speak, cause I'm literally
Based
just
on
looking
the,
at this.
based
but-
on the millage that the Hancock County Tax Assessor has estimated, it is no millage increase for the school district. It's flat.
This is just, Ms. Rhonda, what I believe they're requesting is this is the money that they need to cover their 3 mil note. Is that what y'all are
Right.
reading this as?
And it's not 3 mills, it's like 1 point something.
Right.
It's just referred to as a 3 mil note.
Okay.
It'll probably be less this year with the value being a little more, less
Okay.
millage.
All right, thank you, Ms. Rhonda.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Somebody in the back.
All right, anything else? Need to approve the minutes. August 6, 2018, August 7, 2018, August 13, 2018, open proposals workshop, and the August 13th budget workshop. The August 16th special meeting minutes are not finished yet, so we're not going to be approving those tonight. Just need a,
Motion to approve as corrected.
okay, motion, Mr. Seal,
Second.
second, Mr. Zimmerman. Any further discussion? Vote the motion. Motion passed 6-0. All right, no need for executive session. Get a motion to adjourn if you don't have anything else.
Motion.
When's our next budget?
Yes.
Meeting?
Good idea.
Yeah, Thursday's a
Thursdays.
gala, so we're not,
Wednesday or?
What? Who's going to that?
practically, well, we have to watch out. We don't wanna be in a open meeting and get written up for that.
Monday the 27th.
Monday the 27th?
Right.
That's fine.
You can gather as friends. You can gather as friends, all you
How
want.
about
That's all-
Tuesday the
that's-
28th?
That's what we try to do.
That's P and Z.
So,
A football game Monday.
oh yeah, Monday Night Football.
No, my son's football.
But they do have Monday Night Football.
More important than,
All right, so, the 27th is it?
Yeah, 27th,
All right.
next budget workshop, Monday the 27th, 5:30.
Oh, when do you want a recycling workshop?
Why don't we do that Monday as well? You want us to do it at 5 or?
Yeah, I push it off into one more meeting.
let's
mainly.
get to the budget and
Yeah.
we'll do recycling.
All right.
Y'all be in a hurry for it?
No, I don't think you're in a
Yeah,
hurry
let's,
for it.
let's get to the budget and we can deal with the rest of it.
So Monday, 5:30 budget. All right, anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, Mr. Smith,
Second.
second, Mr. DeSalvo, any discussion? Vote the motion. All right, motion passes 6-0.
Good meeting.
record.
Figured I'd speed it up tomorrow. I speed it up for my final meeting yesterday.
Oh, it's your final meeting? Oh, okay. So you're gonna be here Monday? You're gonna be chief Monday?
What the hell happened to our